Now the Olympus OMD E-M5 has been one of the big successes of the last year, thanks in part to its retro styling. It is a retro masterpiece, very reminiscent of course of the Olympus OM series cameras of the 1970s and 80s, except it's a lot smaller. Now this in some ways is one of its benefits, that it's small and light and easy to carry, but some people might find it a little bit too small, and for that reason Olympus have produced a battery grip, which is also a retro masterpiece because it also looks like the old school motor drives from the same era as the camera, so it's a good fit. But it's more than just a case of style over substance, because this actually is a really designed little grip. First of all, it comes in two parts. This is the horizontal grip, which is the HLD6G, and this is the battery pack, which is the HLD6P. Now, this bit here, the horizontal grip, you can actually attach and use on its own. It gives you something to hold onto at the front, a much more firm, positive grip at the front. It adds about a centimetre or sort of half an inch of height onto the bottom of the camera, which is not a lot really, but it does give you, again, if you're hand holding the camera, if you're walking along with the camera by your side, if that's the way you like to roll, then this is obviously really useful a bit to attach. Now the horizontal grip has a second shutter button and a input dial that you get on here. This is duplicated on here because obviously when you've got the hand grip, it's quite difficult to reach around for the one on the camera, so you've got a second one here. There is of course no extra battery in this part. This is purely a grip for giving you more purchase on the camera. So the second part of the grip is the battery grip here, and that screws on in exactly the same way as the first part. So when you've got the battery grip attached, you've actually got a second battery in here, and you can set the camera so that either this battery is used first and then the one in the camera, or the one in the camera is used first and then this one. It makes sense really to set it so that the grip is used first, because changing the one in the camera, it does involve taking all this off again. Now the battery pack part is also the one you would use for vertical shooting, because on the grip itself you've got a second, again, you've got another shutter release button and an input dial on the front of this, and when you're holding the camera in portrait format, you've got one just in exactly the right place. You've also on the battery pack got another rear input dial, which is a duplicate of this one here. You've also got some other duplicated controls, which if you turn around the back, first of all we've got a lock so that you can turn these buttons on or off if you don't want to use them. But again, you've got two function buttons, and you can actually set these for different things to the ones on the camera. So that in fact doubles the number of function buttons at your disposal that you can set for different parameters. Now the HLD battery grip is very well made, and it's weather sealed like the camera itself, so you can take it out in the rain and not have to worry too much about it. Despite the build quality, the whole thing weighs only 280 grams with a battery. Now if you were to unscrew the battery pack part and just use the horizontal grip, then that only adds 102 grams of weight to the camera, which is very little. And in fact, I tend to leave this attached all the time. I find I like the way it adds to the handling. It's a really nice shutter button, which is really nice and easily accessible. The only thing that's annoying about it is when you've got the hand grip attached, the strap lug somehow always seems to be in the way. So that is the HLD6 battery pack. I highly recommend it. If you've got an OMD, it's about £250 or less than that. I think that's about £200 in the UK, and I think it's money well spent, because it really does improve the handling of the camera. As I say, whether you're shooting in landscape format or portrait format, it certainly aids the handling of the camera, gives you something to grip on, it doubles your battery life, and I think it looks fantastic.